Since the beginning of 2024, several international organizations and financial institutions, including IMF, actually raised their growth projection for the Chinese economy, reiterating China as the primary engine of global economic growth. One of the courses you taught in Yale called Next to China to case study the economic pattern in China. So what do you think are the unique features of Chinese economic growth model?
To me, the unique features have long rested on China's capacity to implement reforms, reforms of its economic structure, reforms of its social structure, political structure, its governance. And this reflects a certain amount of courage on the part of Beijing to recognize the need to tackle tough issues, to accept some pain in going after the tough issues, but in having the strategic vision to know where they want to take the Chinese economy. I taught for years the imperatives of structural rebalancing, focused on drawing greater support from internal private consumption by reforming and boosting and solidifying the social safety net, especially healthcare and retirement. And I would say that the government's emphasis on domestic demand is the correct emphasis, but it needs to do more to realize the transformation that that emphasis should be able to generate.
Given the recent fluctuations in Chinese stocks market, is the market some sort of oversold?
And I'm not going to try to make a call on the Chinese stock market, but I will say that investors in general are concerned about three things when it comes to China. One, confidence in your private sector right now, and that, I think, has not yet been effectively addressed. Number two, the structural headwinds that the economy and therefore the earnings embedded in the stock market face over the next several years, especially in a period where the structural pressures of demography and productivity headwinds continue to restrict the growth potential of the Chinese economy. And I think thirdly, there's always been a big debate in China about the role of the private sector versus state-owned enterprises. So addressing those three factors will be very important in shaping the outlook for Chinese stocks. Whether or not they're oversold or not, that remains to be seen.
Yes, confidence and expectation are actually the two words that talked most among investors. So what is the key to rebuilding this confidence?
Well, go back to the first question you asked me. What's the magic of China? The magic of China is the courage and the strategic vision to implement tough reforms. We've gone through in this interview today a number of issues that China faces, not just property, not just local government financing vehicles, but also a shrinking population, a significant increase in the debt intensity of the economy. These are not easy issues to tackle for any nation. I mean, look at how Japan has struggled with many of these same issues now for over 30 years. And what Chinese authorities have been so good at is in recognizing problems and acting strategically, forcefully, courageously, and putting in place reforms that can make a difference. And that's the lesson of the reforms and opening up of the 1980s and 1990s that should not be lost on Beijing in looking to the future.